Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Constructive Liberty Podcast, where we're always talking about ways to intentionally design more freedom into your daily life. Got a couple quotes of the day to start you off with. The first one from the man himself, Bruce Lee. And when you hear this quote, you'll probably recognize it. He said it in several different ways. But he said, the quote that I'm giving you today is, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. I think it was also Bruce Lee that said, I'd rather fight a man who has practiced 1,000 kicks once instead of fighting the man who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. That's that laser-like focus. Alexander Graham Bell said it this way: concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought into a focus. And if you haven't got it from the title already, the main topic of our show today is about focus, about focusing all your energy, all your life force, if you will, towards a certain and particular goal, towards achieving the thing you want to achieve, rather than being scattered to the wind like I so often am. I've got so many projects going, so many irons in the fire, that my focus is scattered, and makes me rethink an announcement that I've got for the show today. Something that I've already put out, another project I'm starting. Wow, I shouldn't do that, but I'm going to, because it's part of what I want my life to be. It's a part of who I want to create myself to be, of how I want my life to be seen as. It's part of the impact I want to make. So I will make this announcement later today, towards the end of the show, so you got to be listening in. So what have I been up to this past week? Well, I've been kind of disabled. About 3 weeks ago, I mentioned, and you probably heard the show with my good friend Carrie Brown from Strong Roots Resources, and he was here helping me just with some various projects around the house, around the farm. And I happened to cut myself on a piece of metal that day, and it seemed to heal fairly well over the next 2 weeks. It wasn't even a bad cut. Well, after 2 weeks of healing, or so I thought, I developed an infection in my hand, and I think it started showing up on a Saturday. Sunday, it kind of got painful. I didn't sleep real well Sunday night. Actually, I barely slept at all. And Monday, it was pretty painful. So I decided to go to the doc. And that would not be the boat doc. That would be the doctor doc. And just to see what they would have to say about it. Well, they dug around in my hand. I passed out. I may have told that story last week. I don't know. But, it was really painful, but they couldn't find anything that was going on. So she prescribed me an antibiotic, sent me on my way. It's all well and good. Like, this should clear it up, whatever it is. It got worse. My hand swelled up. The infection got worse. So I went back in on Thursday, and she was like, whoa, this is way worse than it was. Let's take some x-rays. We'll dig around into it, try to drain it, see what's going on here. Still couldn't find anything, and prescribed me another antibiotic. Well, it got worse. Friday, I tried to call back in. The doctor was out of the office for the weekend, and so I'm like, well, I'm just going to push through, put up with the pain, take lots and lots of painkillers, all the things, and go back in on Monday. Well, when I was there on Thursday, they took a culture of my hand and sent that off. That finally came back on Monday, and they called and said, hey, look, we've got a staph infection in your hand. Now, if you've never had a staph infection, this is the first time I've ever experienced it. My wife has had it a couple of times, and it is super painful. It is not fun. Like, my hand has been swollen. It swelled up all the way up to my elbow, and the pain, unbelievable. Like, I didn't sleep much for almost a week. So much pain. And it's finally going down. I'm on my third different antibiotic, and I hate taking those things. If you know me, I'm like, don't take pharmaceutical crap. But there is a time and place for that. So I'm working that out, trying to get rid of this infection. My hand is slowly coming back to being usable. I still got 2 fingers that are pretty numb. I can move them, but I just don't really have any feeling there. So I don't know what's going on in there. It's painful, not much fun at all. So that is that. That's what I've been dealing with the last week. So if you get a cut on your hand, make sure, or a cut anywhere really, make sure you clean it out really well. Wash it down with some kind of disinfectant and wrap it up and keep it good and clean. You don't want to deal with this. I thought for a couple of days I may be, losing an arm or a hand or something because it was that bad. I was about to go cut it off myself. I just couldn't deal with the pain. What else is going on? Well, 2 weeks ago, my goddaughter came to live with us temporarily, needed a place to stay, wanted a change of scenery. And so her and her friend came to Kentucky and they're living for a month in our spare camper, which is our guest bedroom, we'll say. And it's been a fun experience. It's been really good to see them, to get to know my goddaughter again, because it's been, a couple of years since I've really been around her a whole lot. And the thing that amazes me, these 2 girls are 18 and 19, and they're better workers than most adults I know. Like when they need to do something, when they have a job to do, they just sit out and do it. They don't complain. They just lay in and do it. So if these 2 girls can get focus for their life, if they can focus on what it is they want and drown out all the other voices and all the other crap that tries to distract them from life, there's no limit to what they can accomplish. So it's been fun. So they've got a couple more weeks here before we told them we have to have the guest cabin or guest camper or guest bedroom back because we have got other guests coming that need it. And so we gave them this window, said, here you go. You can use it for this long. After that, you've got to be out. So I'm not sure yet what's going on there, but it's been fun. Let's see. In my construction business, I had a fairly large project fall through last week. I was supposed to start it this coming Monday. And last week, the people who I'm doing the job for called and said, the customer things are not working out there, so this job is canceled. And this was like a $10,000 job. So not huge by any means, but if you know the work that I do, it's a medium-sized job for me. And that was only the labor portion. There was no material in that. So it was a good-sized job for me. And that fell through. But you know what? The thing is, I'm not even sad about it because I'm so busy. And I'm still so far behind. I'm still sweating bullets, especially having been off of work for like a week. I'm in my 2nd week of not being able to do a whole lot because of my hand. So I don't even care that job fell through because I still have so much out there. And every time I turn around, I get offered a job by somebody. And if you know me, I don't want no cotton picking job. I don't want a job. I work for myself, and that's going to play a huge part in that project that I was talking about earlier that I'm going to announce at the end of this podcast that I'm launching shortly, coming up. You want to stay and hear this. I am taking a marketing class right now, and this will tie straight into my coaching business, Empowering for Momentum coaching and consulting business. This marketing class is basically to help me gain some experience in the web design and marketing online space and those things. And so if you are looking for some help with your website, with your marketing things, learning Google ads, Facebook ads, and things like that, definitely reach out to me because for smaller projects, I can definitely help you out. You can just go look at my websites. I've built all of those, having had no training. I like technology. I like learning new things. And so I've done the work it takes to learn all of those things. So if you need some help building a website or tying together different pieces of technology, like figuring out where to purchase your domain name and what platform you should use to build your website and going with your email marketing software and all of those things, I can definitely help you out with that. We still have pigs for sale. We've still got 10. I had a guy that was going to come get one or two, and that fell through. We were not able to meet up on the day that he wanted to. That was when I was dealing at the beginning of my infection. And so he hasn't been back. So we've still got a few pigs for sale. Or if you're interested in having us grow them out for you, we can work out a deal there as well. I think I mentioned this earlier, next year at some point, I'm going to do a hog butchering class where you'll pay for the class, but that will include like a quarter hog, half hog, maybe a whole hog, depending on what you want. And we'll go from there. I also want to remind you, this is episode 99. Okay, so next week we have episode 100 of the Constructive Liberty podcast coming up. And what that means is that we have been going for nearly 3 years at this thing. Nope, I'm sorry, 2 years. Nearly 2 years. My math is way off. We've been going for nearly 2 years at this podcast, or at this iteration of the podcast, because my first iteration had about 30 to 40 episodes, and I scrapped it and started over. So this iteration has 100 episodes as of next week, and I'd love to hear some feedback from you. If you want to send me a note or drop me a voice message, I'll read that, play that on the show next week. Just things that you've enjoyed about the Constructive Liberty podcast, maybe some lessons you've learned or how it's changed your life, or just, something fun or funny about you as it relates to the podcast. Love to have a note. You can join the Telegram chat at t.me/Constructive Liberty. Follow the channel, join the chat, and just drop a voice note or a written note there. Or send an email to ken@constructiveliberty.com. So now, let's move on to the main topic of today's show. We're talking about laser focus. And this is a good one. You may have heard some of these stories before, but this comes, it's a lesson from Warren Buffett. And he uses two lists, comes up with two lists that he makes for laser targeted focus. And you heard me mention earlier that I oftentimes feel scattered. I'm focused, if you will, on so many different things. And I don't have that laser focus, like zoned in on this is what I'm doing. In the moment, often I do. Like right now in this podcast, I'm doing this podcast. I'm not focused on my phone or my tablet or my schedule or my planner or what's going on out on the job or those things. I'm focused on recording this. But like with life focus, you need a guidance. You need guardrails, if you will. Like in a bowling alley, you know how they have the guardrails on the side? If you don't put those up, it's a lot harder to stay in the lane. It's a lot harder to stay in your lane if you don't have those guardrails. And so many people use those bumpers or guardrails or whatever you call them so that they can stay in their lane, so that it guides their focus. And these lists that Warren Buffett comes up with is what guides your focus for life. So if you know who Warren Buffett is, you know that he owns Berkshire Hathaway. According to recent market valuation, it has consistently for years ranked as one of the 100 largest companies in the world. In 2021, it's a diversified holding company, and they employed nearly 360,000 people amongst the many businesses that they held. So years ago, in 1965, Warren Buffett assembled a group of investors and they bought Berkshire Hathaway. It was previously a textile firm which was struggling, but he built that up to a valuation of nearly $1 trillion. And because of his ability to predict future investments, he's been nicknamed the Oracle of Omaha. But he has a simple method for prioritization, like prioritizing the things that need to get done. Okay? For developing laser focus. This is not stock guessing tips at all. This is achieving what you want to achieve in life. Okay? I was just giving you a little bit of his background. But you only make 2 lists. So there's this dude named Mike Flint who served as Warren Buffett's pilot for 10 years, okay? His personal pilot. Like, he flew Warren Buffett's personal airplane. How cool a job would that be? So one day while Mike Flint, Warren Buffett were discussing career priorities, Mike Flint's career priorities, Warren Buffett shared something with Mike Flint that is a superbly powerful lesson that we could all learn from. Okay? Buffett just told Flint and said, all right, look, I want you to make a list. Okay? What is it that you want in your career? Give me your top 25 goals for your career. Bring that to me tomorrow. That's your list. Okay? Do that. So Mike Flint went home that night. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get this done. Yes, these are the top 25 things I want to accomplish in my career. And he brought it back to Warren Buffett the next morning, and Buffett looked at it. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. That's good. Now I want you to circle the top 5 most important goals on the list. Okay? Go home tonight, write out the top 5 most important goals, and put those on another list. Okay? That's your second list. So you'll have 2 lists, one with your top 25 career goals, and the second with the top 5 most important. So the next morning, Mike Flint comes back and he shows Buffett these 2 lists, and then Buffett's like, okay, so what are you going to do with these 2 lists? Flint's like, well, I mean, obviously these are my 5 most important lists, so I'm going to stick the list of 25 in my back pocket, and I'm going to work on the shorter list because those are my most important goals. Right? I'm going to focus on these 5, and that's good. That's really good. But here's the powerful lesson. Okay. Buffett asked Flint, he said, what are you going to do with the second list? So Flint's like, well, I mean, I'm working on these most important goals, the 5 most important. And I'm going to keep this other list as a backup of my secondary goals. That way, when I get a chance, I can work on those too. And here's the secret. Okay. This can help you boost your focus and your productivity and getting things done that's most important to you in life. Buffett told Flint to take that list, the other list, the long list that has the 20 extra goals, and to throw it away, to avoid those goals at all costs. Like, avoid them. This is a to avoid list. This is not a to-do list. This is a to avoid list. No matter what happened, he told Flint, he said, don't give anything on that list any amount of focus whatsoever until you've achieved the 5 most important things list. Are you getting that? Do you see how that can guide your life? How that can really develop and drive your focus? Super powerful lesson there. Are you getting that? It's so easy to just be like, yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, I understand. I need to focus on less things, but oh well, I'll just like do all the things. But listen, there's a reason that Warren Buffett leads one of the largest and most successful businesses in the world. He even teaches this 2-list system to other business owners, to other leaders. This helps you narrow your focus and increase your productivity. You might not be an investor. You might not be a pilot. It doesn't matter what you do in life. This lesson will help you get the most out of life. It will help you live the most full life, because you'll be pursuing the things that matter the most. So what I want you to do today, I want you to email me your top 25 life goals, okay? And write out everything, your top 25 life goals. And email that to me, ken@constructiveliberty.com. That is your to-do list for today. The top 25 things I want to do in my life. You don't have to say, hey, Ken, what's up? Here's your list. Just 1 through 25, list out your top 25 things and send that to me. And then I want you to eliminate 20 of those. Narrow that list to 5 things and focus on those. Focus on that. Do those things. That doesn't mean you're not going to do anything else, but that means that all your effort, all your thought, all your focus is on achieving those 5 life goals. If you work a 9-to-5 job right now and your goal is to start your own business, that doesn't mean you just go out and quit your 9-to-5 job. That means that you put all your focus towards starting your business. How can I start my business? What can I do? What are the first steps that I need to do to get that business going? Is it work my ass off in my 9-to-5 job to save up some money so that I have a little bit of a cushion to go start my business and quit the job I'm in? Or do I start the business on the side, working nights and weekends while still working in my job, and grow my business to where it can support my family? Your focus needs to be on those goals and nothing else. I hope I've stressed to you how important that is to getting what you want in life. So laser-like focus, like Bruce Lee said, the successful warrior is average man with laser-like focus. Or the successful businessman is an average man with laser-like focus. You don't have to be the smartest and brightest. You just have to have a singular focus. Concentrate all your thoughts on the goal at hand. Even the sun's rays don't burn until it's brought into a focus. Okay? So I don't know who you are to think that you can burn something or achieve something without laser-like focus on it. That's all I've got for the main topic of the show. I want to remind you, somebody alerted me to the fact that my sign-up form for the EdgeCon ticket was not working. EdgeCon, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, is the most transformative Christian small business conference in the USA. I will drop a link in the show notes. So I'm going to leave that up. I'm going to say for through the end of August. I was going to end the giveaway at the end of June. I'm going to end it at the end of August now because apparently that sign-up link was not working. And so you still have a shot to go sign up to win the ticket to EdgeCon. That's a $500 value. The most transformative Christian small business conference in the U.S. They've got awesome speakers that show up every year. And the conference is being held in Nashville in February, I believe. So you can win a ticket to next year's EdgeCon. I want you to also go follow Building Small Business on TikTok. I haven't posted in the last week because I've been dealing with hand issues, and it's been not good timing. But I share business tips. I share tips that I'll also be sharing on something that I'm going to announce shortly. But it's a fun little TikTok. I share some informative things. There's a hummingbird right outside my window. That's cool to watch. And just go follow it on TikTok if you're there. I also want to invite you, if you want to support the podcast, find a Podcasting 2.0 app like Fountain and listen to the show there. What you can do from there, if you are into cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, you can stream sats, which is or satoshis, which is a portion of a Bitcoin, is like a Bitcoin penny for every minute of the show that you listen to. And I want to shout out to a couple of listeners. Brian from the Lots Project is a faithful streamer. Every week I get a notification coming in that he's been streaming sats. So thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And also CJ Dixon just sent a nice donation last week to the show, and he also tagged me on Instagram in the show that he listened to with Carrie Brown. So that was really fun. I love hearing feedback and just the hearing that people are receiving value from this podcast. I appreciate that. You can also go buy a book from my Amazon wish list. I love reading, and I don't read fiction. Occasionally I might read a fiction book a year, but I'm always in about 3 or 4 books to grow personally and professionally, to help me build myself up into the person I know I can be, to help me fulfill all the potential that God has given me. And I know that I'll never realize that full potential, but there is massive potential to achieve so much more than I'm achieving now. And I can unlock that through the power of other people's discoveries as well. That's why I read these books and listen to podcasts and listen to audiobooks and all the things. So you can go buy me a book from my Amazon wish list. I can stick it on my shelf with all the other books I have in my to-read list. Now for the big announcements. Starting on August the 1st, that's a Monday, I have a new podcast that I'm starting, and that is called Solopreneur Radio. Because, well, that's what I am. I'm a solopreneur. And in my coaching and consulting business, what my goal is to help other people create more freedom in their life through starting their own business. That is the goal, the aim of my coaching, is to develop young entrepreneurs, to help them start their own business. Me as a solopreneur, doing most of the work myself, utilizing some contractors and all of that, I'm going to impart the knowledge that I've gained over the years in that space. And I'm also going to be interviewing fellow solopreneurs. So this is going to be a twice a week podcast, probably a Monday and Thursday. We'll see how that schedule works out. And it's going to be short, relevant, actionable episodes, tools, tips, and mindset to help you start, run, and grow your business or side hustle as a solopreneur. So you're not going to want to miss that. The interviews are going to be awesome. It's just to give you proof that you don't have to be a special person, to get started and to build something worthwhile. I mean, just look at me. You don't have to be special for sure. You know me. So the thing I want to leave you with today, the question for the week, what 5 things will you laser focus on to achieve in your life? Send me that email with your top 25 list and narrow it down to 5 things, and then laser focus on achieving those things. Eliminate the other 20. I'm going to end today's show as I always end the show. You can do whatever you want in life, but whatever you do, do good work.